Well, we don't really know what to do with this, so why don't you tell us? What should we do?
Yeah, do you guys have questions, thoughts, comments, concerns, safety issues, anything? Bring it to our attention.
Personal anecdotes? I guess we'll just open the forum. Yeah, sure.
Okay, do this. My question and comment, the episode where everybody switched bodies, which was amazing, by the way. Your take on Kenzie? I have to ask, just anything and everything that you can mention about that, please, because that was very memorable.
Well, the real trick with that was Ksenia Solo lent me her really small underwear. I wear those, and they were so uncomfortable that everything just came from there. That episode was so much fun for all of us because it was like theater school. We were all in the bar because we couldn't leave because of the Bay Force. And we just sat there and really helped each other out. It was, we would read each other's lines for us. I have a video of Ksenia and Anna doing the scene that I did with Mike and Graham, who played Bo.
The Southern police officer guy.
That's right, the bounty guy.
The bounty.
And it was really, we really just helped each other out. Ksenia would come, she's like, how would you do this? I had to do this, how would you do your claws? It was so much, I think it was the most fun we've all had together.
Yeah, we don't ever get to spend that much time together on set. We all are in different scenes than each other. So it's rare that we get to sort of spend that much time in one episode together.
The reverb in here is fantastic.
I know.
Zoie's voice is like,
echoing.
Oh my God.
I'm the only one. I didn't really get to copy anybody because I played somebody who wasn't one of us, so I kind of had to make up crazy pants all by myself. I brought out my inner crazy. Yeah.
Maybe we should pass this thing out into the mic.
Out into the mic? Audience? Yeah. There you go. You did?
I did. Okay, I'm going to start back here and come up.
I was just wondering, in the episode where Bo kills Nadia, sorry, spoilers guys, do you remember what was going through Lauren's mind when she was witnessing that? Because you did a brilliant job of just expressing so well everything that the audience was feeling, but any specifics you could give us on that would be amazing.
Well, thank you very much. Kind of you. I remember that scene was a really tough scene to shoot because, especially for the girl playing Nadia, Karkanis, who's a tremendously talented and beautiful actress, she had to kind of really embody all of this stuff. It took a long time to shoot, so I remember it being a complicated scene. It's really long. It's one of the longest scenes I've shot on the show. And then in terms of character stuff, it was crazy because Lauren actually asks Bo to kill Nadia, which was a great, I think, a great choice on behalf of the writers to have that be the case, that I had to ask her to kill my person, my girlfriend. So I think it was like, it was a really lovely moment to act because it was a huge swing between I desperately needed her to do this thing, which was going to be devastating at the end of the day. So it was, as an actor, one of those moments that you kind of hope for, that you get to kind of play all of the intricacies of what that might. And then I had to imagine that, which is almost impossible, just about to imagine that scenario and how one would react to it. And all you can sort of do is be as present and open in the scene for that kind of a scene, and just hope that you organically find it. But yeah, it was a great scene to shoot, but a tough one for sure.
Hi, this question is for Zoe. At the end of season 3, there's a lot of questions about Lauren/Karen, whoever, and where is where's Lauren, which is a hashtag on Twitter now.
She's here in Texas.
But she had that whole scene with Bo where she was Bo about how the Fae ruined her life and.
The breakup scene.
Yeah, and thanks for taking
some breaks.
Yeah, thanks Documents fans in the heart yet. But she says to Bo, you know, I loved you, past tense, and you know, we assume she's saying all this just to convince Taft that she's on his side. So my question is to you, do you think Lauren really still loves Bo?
Yeah, I mean, I think that she does. Yeah, I would say she absolutely does. I don't think that she's in any way a fickle person. I think that she absolutely loves Bo. I think that it has become way more complicated, despite knowing, Lauren always knew that the relationship was going to be tricky, being that she was dating a sex beast. But, which is difficult in any relationship. But I think that, you know, I think it's that thing when your heart gets as crushed as I think hers did, you try to protect yourself, you know, and I think that Lauren might be in a place right now at the end of the season where, you know, you try to sort of cut something off and so that you don't feel it for a while. So I think at the end of the day, she for sure is still in love with Bo, but I think she needs to protect herself. Yeah.
This question is for Kris. So, in a one-on-one fight, who do you think would win, Dyson or Quint from Underworld Awakening?
Lauren.
Sorry. Did we have it here?
Well, now that Lauren's learned how to splice DNA, you know, the sky's the limit for Lauren. You know, I'm sorry to say, like, Quint's, what, 20 feet tall, and all Dyson can do is turn into a fuzzy husky. I think Dyson's more charming, and I'd rather spend time with Dyson, but I think Quint would probably step on him and not even know he was there.
This is for Kris. At the end of season 3, we all want to know what happens to Dyson.
What, you mean what happened in the moment?
At the end, we all saw him go off the cliff.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to wait a minute. What can I tell you? I really, you know what, if I told you right now with all these video cameras rolling, Jay Firestone and Emily Andres would literally jump me when I got off the plane. Yeah, they would just like, I would literally all of a sudden, they'd spring out of the wall somewhere.
You'd win.
Yeah. No comment, sorry. I wish I could tell you. I wish I knew actually. We don't really know much right now.
So your girlfriend makes my girlfriend want a girlfriend?
Good for you.
That being awkwardly funny and comfortable, what are some of the funniest and most awkward moments that happen when you guys are doing skin scenes?
Skin scenes. Well, okay, well the first skin scene that Anna and I had to do in the pilot, which showed as episode 8 in season 1, was, you know, one of our love days, when she just comes in the door and we were like really kind of violently, we were like really passionate with each other. I found myself getting ready to shoot the bed part of that scene with Anna, and we were both in, what can I say? Okay, I wear a little sock or something, you know, contain the junk. On the junk. And she wears a little patch to contain her beautiful womanliness. And so we're laying there naked, and the scene starts with me on top of her, right? And then we do a rollover. But while we're sitting there waiting for the camera to roll, of course, the check the makeup guy, dudes all around adjusting lights. I'm really naked, except for this little thing. And I look over my shoulder, and I realize that all of Video Village, which is where the director, the producer, the writer, they all sit with their, you know, their screens to watch what the camera's watching, are right beside my butt. And I'm a skinny guy, so like when I'm like bent over, I know they have full view of my spine. And it was one of those moments where I was like, the entire production can see my butthole right now. And I'm supposed to feel sexy about it. Not worth it. You?
I love your butthole. I don't know, sex scenes are always funny, and they're always a little bit different. Like, they're never the same, and I don't know, I don't really ever get totally used to them. It's always, the first few minutes are a little awkward because they have a robe. There's always the costume designer or the person on set who's in charge of wardrobe is there to sort of put a robe on you immediately as soon as they say cut. So there's always that moment where you're scrambling, and anytime you try to put anything on quickly, It's like my leg goes through the armhole. But for me, the thing that I always think about is whenever you're on top, because girls, what they do on set for sex scenes is they just put little pasties on. So you just have little, and they just cover so little. And then you have to hang over whoever you're doing. And everything just hangs like this. And so if they shoot you like that, it's the least attractive visual ever. They're just hanging there. There's nothing left to keep anything in.
Hi, speaking for all of us regular people in the world, we look at you, actors and actresses, and think, wow, they're so fit. What are they doing, you know? And can you talk about what is your lifestyle like? I mean, are you just eating, you know, bean sprouts? And, do you work out every day? Is that part of your job? Like, I get up in the morning and I go to gym for 3 hours every day. How do you do it?
I actually don't like the gym at all. I hate it. I would much rather do like a sport or something than go and run on a treadmill. So I don't do that sort of thing. I don't work out a ton. But you. No, but my mother had pretty good arms, and I think the recipe's a show. But that's how I show them. You?
I was pretty lucky. My mom had like a six-pack without ever working out until she was like 50. And I did a lot of sports as a young man, so my body just kind of remembers that. And so for me, I swim a lot. I do like simple weights, but yeah, it's all about watching what you eat. Don't eat a lot of sugar, a lot of crap. You know.
Okay. So I want to first say that The Untitled Works of Paul Shepard is one of my favorite movies. And I haven't seen Sex After Kids yet, but I can't wait to see it. I was wondering if you have any other projects with both of you coming up besides Lost Girl Season 4?
Well, we both did, Sex After Kids is a film we did with Jeremy Lalonde, who did Paul Shepard, and they're looking for a American distributor right now. He's written a new one, which we're taking a look at, and we're not sure how it's going to come together. I did a film in the fall called The Returned, which some of you may have seen the Spanish trailer, Le Retornado. My Spanish is fantastic, I must say. It's kind of a tragic love story set in a sort of post-apocalyptic world. But that'll be out. I think they're festivaling this fall, so probably an early winter release. And besides that, Lost Girl is coming up in a week and a half.
Yeah, that's kind of it. Once Lost Girl gets started, there's not a lot of time to do anything. Yeah. So going to the bathroom, you just have to do your pants. I know I did a movie called Sorry, I don't know why I said. I did a movie called Cold Blooded about a year and a half ago, which is doing the festival circuit as well, and then we did Sex After Kids, and again back to Lost Girl and me. So. Oh, I did a movie called Patch Town, that's right, which is a crazy fun little movie that it did really well at Cannes and TIFF. They did a short version of it, and then they developed it into a feature-length film, and I think that's doing the festival circuit now too. That's right, I forgot to do it.
Okay, this is for Kris.
No, I just said, be careful, there's no banister here, so watch what you're like.
I love that you whispered it to me and then announced it. Everyone can see everything.
I'm a horrible secret keeper. Actually, I'm a good secret keeper.
This is a perfect segue. I was the one who took your picture last night when you were bent over. And I wanted to let you know, in case you were worried, I did not get a picture of your butt crack.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I actually was thinking about that this morning. I'm like, God damn it. You never know when someone's going to take a picture. Yes, well, young lady in front.
I got called on, I'm sorry.
Take your time, it's all good. Susie, your arms are going to get tired very soon.
My question was about
about episode 8 of the first season, which I know was the pilot.
That's right.
But it looks like the scenes with, most of the scenes with Bo and Lauren might have been filmed much later, because Anna's hair is a lot longer.
Excellent observation.
And I was just wondering, was the pilot like short and they had to add those later, or were scenes replaced, or why were those filmed later?
There was a problem with the film. We originally shot it. We had to replace the footage.
We did some reshoots.
We did some reshoots.
So good eye.
Yeah.
But those scenes were originally in the pilot. They just had to be reshot.
They were pretty much verbatim. Just shot a little bit later.
Thank you. That's been killing me.
If you guys could do a crossover with any other show, what would it be?
I would want to do, it's not even, I don't even think they shoot it anymore, but Torchwood. I love that show. I would love to be on that show. Have you ever seen Torchwood? Oh, you should. Go. So for me, that, I really like it. I love Torchwood.
Wow, I'm really horrible watching TV. I love Game of Thrones, but I think I don't know. I just met Patrick Stewart, so I'm thinking Star Trek. You know? There's very few shows that affect, like Star Trek Next Generation. I think I've watched 70 hours of that. And I keep watching it. I have a 5-year-old kid, and I'm like, it's one of the shows I'm like, you're gonna watch this at some point. I hope you like space. You know, it's such a forward-thinking show. You know, it has so many amazing things talking about society, philosophy, space, future, time, fun stuff.
This is for Kris. When you did Underworld, how did you get into the role as the Lycan or whatever? Like, did you go from the wolf or mouse girl to that role? So how did it correlate to being that position?
That's a good question. It was I mean, the accent helped a lot. I could really step out of Dyson and do something, create something different. The funny thing about that was the two directors were the Swedish team, and they had no idea about Lost Girl. So when I did the audition, I just kind of did a wolf out for them, and they're like, "Oh God, that is so good!" You know, they booked me like right on the spot, and then. You know, Quint, originally the script of Underworld 4 was a really great little story, but when they decided to make it 3D, they really cut out a lot of the story and a lot of the scenes that my character had, and replaced them with like things flying out of the screen, which I thought was a real drag. So the original script was great. So when it came to shoot, I had very little to really hold on to. You know, I was just this kind of brooding guy. There was only really one scene that I talked about, like my mother, and that's the bit I had of the character arc. So it wasn't that hard. I mean, I just had to kind of go into the more vicious side of myself and like put that in the Quint. Not even thinking about Dyson, except for the wolfy outy parts.
So this is for both of you. What would be the hardest character you ever had to play?
No, but I'm just going to think out loud. Verbal diarrhea. We're really classy folks. I think I played Wayne Gretzky in the Walter Gretzky story. And I think, I didn't grow up playing hockey. I grew up in a totally different sporting sort of world. So I had to learn to skate quite well. And then it was just also the responsibility of playing this very iconic Canadian figure. And I remember there was this one scene, it was his retirement skate, and we were shooting it at the Rex Hall in Edmonton, where the Edmonton Oilers used to be based. And they had 3,000 volunteer extras coming to this scene. And all of these people had been there for the original scene, and they were so invested. They were reliving this incredible moment for themselves. And I'm out on the skating rink, and I felt like such an imposter. I'm like, I'm just this Canadian actor, and like they're giving so much love. And it was a real lesson to me of like, I have to step up and be here for these people who are reliving this moment. And it was so emotionally powerful. Like when I got back to my trailer, I remember I was really overwhelmed with feelings of like just not being worthy of it, that I was an imposter, and it was a really humbling and lovely experience of being able to be there for the people who you're making something for. And it was a great lesson to me as an artist that sometimes you're just a conduit for other people's feelings and emotions. I think that was it for me.
Actually, now that he says that, I did a movie actually really early on in my career where I played Patty Davis, which is Ronald Reagan's daughter. And similarly, just doing a part where you're playing somebody who's first of all, a real person, who's alive and very, very likely will watch it. And it was really early on in my career, so I felt too a lot of responsibility to kind of make sure that I watched videos of her, and I read books, she's written books, and she's had quite a life, Patty Davis. So to have to play somebody, and then I was doing a movie with James Brolin and Judy Davis, who are both so amazingly talented that I think roles like that where you have to play somebody real is harder because there's not a wrong way to do it if you're playing a character. You know, there's a boring way to do it or an interest bad, but there's not a wrong way necessarily. Whereas when you're playing a real person who's alive, you're accountable to the people that know and love them and to them. So probably that character, yeah.
This question is for Zoie. I know that acting comes from within and is sometimes an extension of your personality. And as a Scorpio, do you feel that you have more fun playing a dark, rebellious punk rocker, Patsy Stewart, or the dark, mysterious, sexy Dr. Lauren Lewis, aka Karen Beatty?
I definitely like people who have edge, for sure. I like to play characters that have edge, and I like to play characters where you're not sure necessarily whether they're, you know, the first season of Lost Girl, we weren't sure whether Lauren was a good or a bad person, and I really had a lot of fun with that. It's great to play those characters. But you know, as I'm getting a little bit older, I'm starting to find it more interesting to play characters that have a little more fun, take themselves a little less seriously. So I'm just starting to turn a bit of a corner in that way that, you know, like acting, I think for a lot of people when you first start out is a way to express whatever's going on for you, and as you get older, you know, the artistry of it, I think, comes in a little more. Now I'm more interested in playing characters that are less like me than more like me. Yeah.
Hi. Where do you feel or want your characters to go in the 4th season, and how do you feel that Tamsin might play as a interference to both your characters' interests? Assuming everyone's alive.
She must die. She must die yesterday. I don't know, I kind of love that Tamsin's around, actually. I really, really do. First of all, I think Rachel does a fantastic job of playing her, and it brings a whole new dimension to the show. I think she's got a great vibe, and I don't know, as far as where Lauren's going to go, you know, every season